Good evening and welcome to the Porch Sports Podcast with your man Fonz.
Card.
Hey man, how's it going, buddy?
It's going all right, buddy. I can't complain.
Yeah. All I know is it's a good day to be a Raven fan. I'm just saying.
Can't say the
same. We want to thank y'all for tuning in one more time. We still here in the land of the living. And before we move forward, want everybody to jump on Facebook and go to the War Room. We got some stuff going on in there. A couple of things that we are going to be implementing pretty much next season. We're going to be updating everybody with that. Again, if you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anything, anywhere you listen to your podcast, how about leave us a rating? Push us up in the algorithm. Help us out, because we some boys out here, and we trying to not be boys but regular birds, but we boys right now. We need to get up there so we can be soar with the eagles. You know what the Bible say about eagles. Yeah. But anyway, we can go ahead and hop right on into it. So we're going to format this show a little different. We got a couple of questions. We kind of off the script last week. We kind of went over a couple of things, and the biggest the game that was coming up was, of course, Baltimore at Tampa Bay. And throughout the course of the season, Tampa Bay has been struggling, mightily so. I think I want to say they either tied for third or actually fourth in that division as we speak. Mm-hmm. So let's do a couple of questions. So the first question is, what will it take for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to turn that season around?
Well, I think it starts off with the offensive coordinator. If anybody is in the hot seat, I don't think it's Todd Bowles. I think it's Brian Leftwich. They've been struggling offensively. Mm-hmm. Thursday night, they rushed for fewer than 50 yards rushing. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady in the passing game has struggled with consistency, and in the red zone. In the third and fourth quarter of that Thursday night game against the Ravens, they punted on 5 consecutive possessions and went 2 for 5 in the red zone.
They were shut out for the entire second half up into the fourth quarter.
Right. Also, the Buccaneers has put up 22 points in one of the 8 games this season. So, and like Todd Bowles said in his press conference, he said it's going to be some staff changes. Might be some staff changes. I think, because I think anytime you're losing like that, like he said, everything is open, to you guys. But I think it starts with the offensive coordinator, first thing first. And also, it starts with that defensive line as well, as they got gashed by the run against the Ravens. So it's that defensive line and the consistency of the pass game. They're struggling in the red zone. They're not running the ball well. And they're not putting up a lot of points due to those things. So
okay. Those are very valid points, but I beg to differ. You say offense, I say defense. Here's why. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense have lost their identity. Going back to that game, like you said, the Ravens gashed them on the ground. I can go far as saying conditioning is a problem, because if you looked at that game, which I did, of course I did, in the first half, defense was playing lights out. They basically was running like their head was on fire. Ravens couldn't do nothing until the second half, when the Ravens went back to what made them the Ravens, and that's play the run game and bend but don't break defense. All right. The defense, by midway of the third quarter, all you saw was this. That's all you saw. They was gassed. They was done. Big shout out to Isaiah Likely, man. That dude had, to be a rookie, he had a monster game stepping in for Mark Andrews. But defensively, and this has been a reoccurring theme throughout the year, They don't have JPP no more. Yes, they were hurt going into that game. They was down 6 defensive starters. But with those starters in the game, they're still losing. And they got some heavy hitters on defense. They got some heavy Antoine Winfield Jr. I know I talked about him many shows back in that Super Bowl. Defense is doing the man. Now, let's get on the subject of Tom Brady. Tom Brady is literally almost 100 years old. He's almost a half a century. Like he's 45, okay? Not that we want to admit it as football fans, but we saw this decline coming last year. It was coming. When I saw they couldn't take down the Rams at home, I said, yeah. Which goes to our second question. What do we think is the source of Tom Brady's quick decline?
Quick decline?
It's quick. Have you seen the stat line lately? The team, check this out. Up until that Thursday night game, the team as a whole did not have a touchdown in the first quarter.
Is that Tom Brady, though, or was that the offensive coordinator?
What was Tom Brady's stat line? Because
the
quarterback offensive coordinator dynamic has been working thus far up until this year.
But you got to also realize that they had Bruce Arians as a head coach, who's a genius at offense. So I don't really think Tom is declining quickly. He is declining, but I think
Can I give you the stat line from that game?
When I look at his gameplay, and then I'm gonna let you come in. When I look at his gameplay, and when I mean gameplay, I'm not talking about the plays that they run. I'm actually looking at the accuracy of the player. He's still pretty much. He still got some juice in him. I think it's more of the offensive coordinator problem. But go ahead and give me the stat line.
Brady's stat line from last Thursday night, he had a 59.1 completion percentage. Now, granted, he has historically struggled against the Ravens. Okay, let's throw that out the window. 325 passing yards. A lot of that came in the second half because obviously by the time he got behind, he's trying to pass to come back. Only one touchdown. Just one. Now, Mike Evans, 8. Mike Evans, 8. But Julio Jones caught that touchdown. Now, let's go back to that touchdown scenario. We were up 27 something. And by that time, it's like, okay, they're going to kill themselves, basically. Let them run. Let them do what they good. So we started playing prevent. My man Corey, he was like, well, we got to lock down on them. We got to like, no. Let them hurt themselves. And what did they do? Clock management was horrible. And of course, penalties. Let's talk about penalties. That's undisciplined football. But granted, he's playing behind a terrible O-line this year. The O-line is terrible. They lost their starting center. I think that's Ryan Jensen, if I'm not mistaken. They lost his starting center. You're leaving plays on the field. Let's go back to the Carolina game when Mike Evans dropped a wide open touchdown in his hand.
Who fault is that?
Now, that I can excuse Brady for that one. But what about the other games? You're Brady. You have a precedent. You have a standard. This can't be.
Right.
I feel like, honestly, everything that he's going through mentally has an effect on his game.
Oh, most definitely. I think he does.
I'm not gonna say he's a shell of himself, but it's here. Let's face the facts. They went on the road to Pittsburgh. Let's be real. This is not a Pittsburgh team I'm used to seeing. Let's just put that out there. Pittsburgh won.
They played great defense, but
yeah, and Pittsburgh defense is not that great.
It's not. So
you mean to tell me you're Tom Brady And I'm not dookie on Pittsburgh because I never count them out. At the same time, let's put the facts out there. You're Tom Brady. You're going against a depleted Pittsburgh Steelers defense. That's not all that great. And yet you can't dice them up with the Mike Evans, with the Scotty Miller. What's the other guy named? Godwin. I think that's his last name. You mean to tell Chris Godwin? You mean to tell me? Like, what gives? Now let's talk about the defensive line. They still got Devin White. I think that's his last. I think that's him. They had Shaq Barrett, but he torn Achilles. Prayers. He done for the season. Prayers up to the fella. But I said when I was watching the game, he did that Ray Lewis dance, and you do that Ray Lewis dance, you're in trouble because it was bad. That first half, they were balling. The problem with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in my opinion, I mean, I'm not spitting fact. I mean, I'm sharing my opinion. The problem with the Buccaneers is the Buccaneers as a whole. If you really break it down to a common denominator, they're killing themselves. Let's just be real. I mean, I'm just be real about it. They're really killing themselves. And whether we admit it or not, okay, you're right. I shouldn't have said quickly declining. But but Brady is declining.
He is, but he's declining gracefully.
He should have stayed home. I honestly believe he's done enough.
But at the same time, when you change, I guess you got to look at the mentality of a person. And you got to realize that I understand this may be hard for a wife to understand. But this is the only thing this guy has known for his entire life. That's just, he's been in the league for over 20 years. But how long has he been playing football?
The man been playing football about 30 years, man. He been playing football since I was a kid, man.
So that's all his life. That's the only thing he knows. And I'm not giving an excuse for the man.
Right.
Yes, family comes first. But at the same time, I mean, when you do something for so long, it just becomes a part of us as human beings. We fall into cycles, and this is a cycle.
Routine cycles.
It's a routine cycle. It's something that he's just used to doing. I mean, he's tried to retire. He retired for 60 days, but I mean, when you have that much success, when you have done so much in the league, I don't even think he's playing to even win anymore. He's just playing to keep his mind off of other things. I don't even think the man may not have anything else to do. He's not a Michael Jordan. He's not going to go play golf. He's not. No. He's not going to do these things. He's going to play football until he has a Big Ben injury.
But see, that's the problem.
That's when when he throw that ball, that arm say fuck.
I'm dealing with a fop right now.
Yeah, it's gonna have to fop.
But see,
I really think, and people think he's playing. People think he's kidding. No, this guy is really determined to play football as long as possible. And he's not losing anything by it. You got to realize he's making millions of dollars throwing the football.
That's
true. Why would you leave?
That's true, but he just lost his family.
He lost his wife.
At the end of the day,
they have built a family together.
They said that 13 years.
Exactly. They have kids. She has her own things going on. She's a supermodel. They both. It's like they grew apart from one another because of their desire to do what they want to do. Tom Brady wants to play football. His wife wants to do whatever she's doing. Because I don't know much. I just know she's a supermodel wife. I don't know what she does for a living. The only thing I know is they grew. When you put so much time into your hobby, quote unquote, career, you kind of grow apart. And I don't think it's so much of a beef thing that they have towards one another. Anything that just, hey, it's not working. What's the point of me saying I'm married to somebody that I don't probably even see? Tom Brady probably don't even see his wife. Don't see his wife for half of the season, probably. He's too busy throwing the football. So I don't think he's declining. He's great. I mean, he's slowly going down the slope. Slowly going down the slope. And the reason why he's slowly going down the slope is because he knows so much football where he doesn't have to use a lot of energy to really even... I mean, yes, his offensive line is struggling, but I think this year is actually one of the only years, and I haven't really... This year, I've really watched more than the Steelers. I can't say I've watched more than the Steelers. I'm proud of myself. Normally,
yeah.
If it ain't black and gold, it don't even matter. But
it ain't really much to watch with the Steelers.
But that too, you know. But you know, I don't think he's declining. I really think it's the offensive coach. I think it really starts with that staff, because would we be questioning this? This is the same, basically, it's pretty much the same team.
Exactly.
It has the same base, the same foundation as last year. I think we didn't give Bruce Arians enough credit for the job he did as a coach. As a coach. He's an offensive-minded coach. Nobody could stop him. They don't have Gronk this year, but either way, they would still be lethal. I believe if Bruce Arians was still coach, they wouldn't be 3-5 right now. I don't think they'd be 3-5 right now. Even
with the same scenarios that's going on with Brady? Because think about it, you just said it. They didn't veer away from their offensive mindset that much. Because when Bruce Arians was the coach, Byron Leftwich was the offensive coordinator. And Ty Bowles was the defensive coordinator. All-star cast, don't get me wrong. The Avengers, that's what I call them. So they're running virtually the same offense.
Yeah, pretty much, but it's different. I mean, in the league, I know we understand that sometimes people just got titles. They don't have any play calling pool right now. I mean, Bruce Arians...
Byron Leftwich is a Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator. It could be a head coach.
Is it due to him or due to Bruce Arians? Now, you don't know. You don't know.
We really don't. I mean, you got me there.
I understand what you're saying. I mean, it's the same team. Yeah, the offense did a little change up, but it's really the consistency. It's just a lot of things that's off.
You're right. It's a lot of things that's going on in Tampa Bay. Like I said, the offensive line is terrible. I think they one of the worst in the league. So you can't play on your back.
It's not like they're getting blown out.
Nah,
they're not getting blown out of the water. They're just not scoring enough points to win.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When the schedule came out and it said we had Tampa Bay Thursday night football, I was like, man, ain't no need to even watch that game. It's gonna be a blowout. But in watching the game, and then I ain't been really watching Tampa Bay, but I've been watching them from afar. Right. They don't look the same. It's like I said, on both sides of the ball, they do not look the same.
And also, let me put this in your ear because it just came to me. I think the reason why they're really struggling is because they don't have the distraction of an AB or a Gronk. Because let's be honest. Let's just be honest for a minute. Mike Evans been on the Buccaneers for quite a long time now. Quite a while. They haven't had much success with Mike Evans on that team. He's the number one receiver, yes. He's a great receiver, though. He's physical and everything. Don't get me wrong.
He's a beast.
He's had his time. But I don't think he's nothing without that second or third help. And that's what they're missing in Tampa Bay. They still want to run the ball with Leonard Fournette. Yes, they still want to throw to Mike Evans. But do you have a Gronk? Do you have an AD? No, they do not. And that's where they're struggling with. Could we just say that Mike Evans isn't as of a consistent receiver as we thought he may have been? Wait
now, hold up.
I'm gonna look into that next week. I'm gonna look into that and I'll have my answer.
Hold on.
I want to know.
We ain't gonna skate by that one.
How consistent is Mike Evans
since
he's been there?
I'm about to tell you right
now. I don't think he's consistent enough.
You don't think he's consistent?
I don't think he's consistent enough.
But
year in and year out.
for this season, he has 39 receptions for 577 yards. As long as it's 51, he only got 3 tubs. But that's career stats.
Yeah, let's go there.
2014, his rookie year, 1,000-yard receiver.
Okay.
2015, 1,200-yard receiver. 2016, 1,300 yard.
Okay.
2017, his stats took a dip, but he was just a hair over 1,000. Matter of fact, 1,001.
Okay.
2018, 1,500 yards.
Okay.
2019, 1,157 yards. 2020, 1,006. 2021, 1,035. So it's not a Mike Evans problem.
Okay.
Isn't it? For his career, he's about 100 and some odd from 10,000 yards for a career.
Okay.
So
my bad, Mike.
Now, and then look at the quarterbacks that he had before Brady.
That's what I was counting. That's what I thought I was counting.
Even with the quarterback play he had before Brady, he was still putting up numbers. So it's not a Mike Evans problem.
Who else could be wrong on the live?
hey man, because you was like, wait the next week. I'm like, nah, bro, we gonna handle this now. I mean, for a career, he got 78 touchdowns. Mike Evans is a beast. I wish we would have traded for him. But anyway, it's not a Mike Evans problem.
Not a Mike Evans problem.
So for this situation with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I can't put that on Mike Evans. Even though everybody going to rag on him about that one drop pass. But in my eyes, and the numbers say he consistent.
That's what the numbers say.
The numbers say he good. I mean,
I'm gonna have to go deeper.
You gotta find something. You gotta get up early.
I gotta dig deep.
You gotta get up early.
Game by game. I'm gonna go game by game.
Boy, you about to do some work, boy. That's about almost 10 years worth of stuff.
Oh no, I ain't gonna do the whole 10 years. I'm gonna do at least the last 3. I think
last 3 games. I could do that for you right now. I just had it. Versus the Ravens, 6 receptions for 123 yards. Versus the Panthers, 9 receptions for 96 yards. Versus your Steelers, that's the worst game he had this year. 4 receptions for 42 yards. That's the worst game he had this year. The best game was against the Ravens. Second best was against the Chiefs.
That's why I think it comes at. And see, that's why I think it comes at. I think he's not inconsistent for the season.
But the season is still.
But fine. But it's 16, 17 games depending on when you want to cut it.
He's almost at 600 yards now. You telling me he can't at least crack 1,000 this year?
Oh no, he's gonna get what he gets. But I'm not saying for the season. Yes, if you get 50 yards every game, you may get 1,000 yards. I mean, but does that make you a consistent receiver?
This man has been the model of consistency.
It's
for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
It's offensive coordinator, y'all. That's why they're struggling. It's the offensive coordinator.
He's been the model of consistency for almost a decade. Let that sink in.
I'm talking about game for game for game for game.
All right, let's. All right, well, give me a year from between 2014 and 2022.
When did Tom Brady go to Tampa?
That was 2020.
Go to 2019.
2019? Okay.
I don't want Tom. When Tom got to Tampa, things went ballistic.
Right. They wound up getting the Super Bowl.
I don't want X Tom Brady out. Give me Jameis Winston.
All right. Now, mind you, Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards. He went 30 for 30.
He did, and he went 32 touchdowns, 32 interceptions. I understand that.
That was still the funniest stat ever. That dude with ESPN 30 for 30.
How many games? Just tell me this. How many games did he get less than 50 yards receiving, or less than 70 yards receiving? Let me not play Mike Evans like that. Let's do 70.
See, it's not letting me go straight up year.
That's why I need to dig deeper right
See,
there.
so we're gonna do what? We're gonna put some salt
We're
on
gonna
it.
put some salt on that. We're gonna put some salt.
We gonna come. Okay.
I'm not saying that the reason why they losing is because of Mike Evans.
No,
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But I don't know. To me, and I've been proven wrong, but I'm gonna continue to fight that case. I don't think.
Okay, I got you. 2019, he played 13 games.
Okay.
That was still the 16 weeks, right? He played 13 games, 67 receptions from off of 118 targets. So he was getting fed.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he was hurt, I want to say he was out a couple of games that year. He still got over almost 1,200 yards, averaging 17.3 yards per catch, 8 touchdowns. His longest was 67 yards. And come on, didn't fumble.
It ain't Mike. It ain't Mike.
It ain't Mike.
I apologize, Mike. I thought it was you, but it ain't you. They said pick one. I picked you, and it won't you. So hey.
So we got.
I shot at the wrong man.
You started at the wrong guy. You started at the wrong guy. Look, he ain't even on my team, and I'm not going to. Come on. Even I said,
I like Mike Evans.
Oh yeah,
I know he's a good receiver, but for the consistency as far as game week by week, I'm gonna still look at that.
I mean, look at it, but you got to take into consideration.
For myself, because the Bible says, "Study yourself, approve. Study for yourself for approval." So that's what I'm gonna
do. but I'm saying, like, I hope you do go back and study Mike Evans, but I can't even put this on him because, like I said, he's been a model of consistency for almost a decade. So where does it lie?
It lies in that coaching staff.
Now with Bruce Arians, Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards. He still went 30 for 30 like ESPN.
It starts with the coach. I think it's the coaching staff then. If it's not Mike Evans, it's not Tom Brady because he's not fat. He's not declining. It's not like he can't throw the ball. It's not a Big Ben situation where they don't even target the downfield situation. It's not a Tony Romo situation where he can't keep his back straight. Mm-hmm. But it's none of those areas. Mm-hmm. They have well-rounded players. It lies in that coaching staff. So it's either Ty Bowles or is Brian Leftwich.
I mean, you might have a point. But let me make something shake right quick. So 2019 was Tom Brady's last year in New England, right? Mm-hmm. That was when that team started off 8-0. Went to Baltimore on Sunday night, went home 8-1. He played 16 games. The brother had 373 completions off of 613 attempts. His passer rating was a 60.8. Completion percentage was 60.8. He threw for 4,057 yards. He had 24 touchdowns to only 8 picks. Now, that was his last year in New England, right? His first year in Tampa Bay, 16 games. He threw the ball 3 times less, but had more completions because he had 401 completions to 610 attempts. His completion percentage went up. I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. 65.7. He threw for almost 5,000, which Jameis Winston did the year before. Where am I? Okay. He had 40 touchdowns to 12 picks. 2021, 43 touchdowns to 12 picks. But he threw the ball more. He had 790. He had 790. But see, here's the thing. His completion percentage was 67.5, right? He had 719 attempts to only 485 completions. But his passer rating that year was a 102.1. Now, right now, but check this out, though. I read you the 2019 stats, his last year in New England. Guess his passer rating.
His passer rating for that year?
For 2019, guess it.
Is it below or above 50?
It's above 50. It was
Oh,
80.
okay.
It was an 88 on the face.
Okay.
Now looking through. Okay, the 2000 season. We're not going to count that because he was a backup to the backup. He was a rookie. His lowest completion percentage since he's been a starter is 83.9. Yep, 83.9. And that was all the way back in the year of our Lord, 2008. That was in 2008. And why is it so low in 2008? Because he got hurt.
Yeah, so it's not Tom Brady either then. So we didn't X Mike there. We didn't X out Mike Evans. We didn't X out number 12. It gotta be the coaching staff, man. It gotta be the coaching staff. It gotta be within the play calling of the Buccaneers currently today. It gotta be.
So this man has already thrown the ball this year 340 times. So he's actually on pace to throw it over 700 times.
Again.
Now, he already has 224 completions. So he's on pace, if I'm looking at historical, maybe a hair over 400. So he's on pace to have similar stats like he had last year.
The man ain't declining. That ain't even the question.
I stand corrected because right now I feel stupid.
The man ain't declining. That ain't the problem.
But it's like obviously a problem.
Thursday night game, they rushed for less than 50 yards. I don't even think you can win a game without rushing at least for 40 rushing yards.
No, you need at least 65.
At least.
Because if you're averaging like 5 yards per clip, you run the ball about 12 times. 5 times 12 is what?
Give me the line. Yeah.
I think it was 60. I ain't been in
60,
third grade in about 30 years, but still. So if you average 5 yards a clip, you need those 5 yards a clip.
But check this out.
It's just that Leonard wasn't getting it done.
Also, last time I mentioned in the show, I don't know what show, but anyways, Bruce Arians admitted that he allowed Tom Brady to coach.
But you said it's the coaching staff.
It's the coaching staff. It is the coaching staff. It is the coaching staff.
No, I'm just messing with you, man.
Thursday night, he went 2 for 5 in the red zone. Like I said, they planted on 5 possessions. Back to back. Punts.
But
now,
historically,
being that this man is historically consistent, it's the coaching staff. It starts with the play calling. If you can't call the right plays, let Tom Brady go out there and do what he's gonna do.
I mean, I'm glad they couldn't call the right plays, to be honest with you.
I think
if they would have ran the ball more, they would have got us.
I think his pop, Bruce Arians gave him a lot of room. He let Tom Brady be who he was. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, but what you can do is let the old dog go out there and tell the young dogs what to do, because the old dog has seen it all.
Okay,
you know what the good book said. They call them the old because they're wise, and for the young because they're grown. You know.
Now, okay, so you said a stat. You said a stat earlier. They said that he hasn't scored over 22 points versus the Chiefs. Versus the Chiefs, they scored 31. They lost by 10. They got, I'm going to get 18. They lost by 18 versus the Panthers. I'm not going to call that a blowout. So they beat Dallas 19-3. They beat the Saints 20-10. They lost to Green Bay 14-12. They lost to Kansas City 41-31. They won against Atlanta 21-15. They lost to Pittsburgh by 2, 2018. The worst loss, honestly, is the loss to Carolina.
Name the next 3 games that they got.
Let me see. Give me one hot second. This is what we do here.
If they can get themselves together and get the chemistry and the consistency of the play calling back, the Bucs will be back. Because even while they're struggling, even with them struggling, they are still competing and contenders in that division. They not out of that division. Just because they're 3-5 don't mean nothing.
Well, ain't nobody over 500.
This the first time in Tom Brady's career, if I'm not mistaken,
He 2 games under 500.
2 games under 500.
But see, now here's his next few games. He got the Rams coming to town Sunday. I can give them that one. They're coming off a little hiatus, if you will. Then you got the Seahawks the following week. The Seahawks are not a pushover.
No,
by any stretch.
No.
Then you got the Browns.
There ain't no pushover either.
They ain't no pushover either. Not what they did in Cincinnati, boy. They ain't no pushover either. And then December 5th, first Sunday in December, they got the Saints again for the second time at Tampa Bay. I feel like the Saints really ain't no pushover. Not with they dismantled the Raiders the other day. And then the back behind that, they going to the 49ers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Then they got the Bengals coming to town. They going to the Cardinals. The Panthers coming to town. And their last game is at Atlanta. That could be for the NFC South.
Well, that's a tough sledding schedule.
It's tough sledding for them. If they're playing...
Ducks in a row.
I'm trying to tell you...
domino effect.
I'm trying to tell you, they better make something shake. I'm trying to tell you. So, I counted at least 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 winnable games with their final stretch. Because the Rams aren't the Rams. They're not ramming. The Saints might play them hard, but I might get them to sweep on that one. The Seahawks, I don't know, because even when the Seahawks lose, they still look good. That's difficult. So hey,
I think it's the coaching staff. I stick with that. They don't have any inconsistent players, so
hey,
starts with the defense. Like you said, I think you got a solid point there. The defense, they got to maintain, stop them to run, and just be consistent on offense. I think they can still they can get that together. I think they can still make it to the playoffs and probably compete. I'll just leave it at compete because
you can compete and still take an L. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But they got to get their pieces back. They got to get those pieces back. They was, like I said last week, they was down 4 starting corners.
Yeah, and this is the first season with Tom Brady that they don't have an overpowering offense.
Right.
I'm sorry. When you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette, Gronk, AB.
Before he just completely lost his marbles. But yeah, I got you.
With that. You just can't lose with that. And that speaks volumes to why they was in the Super Bowl. Because, I don't think anybody currently could beat that. I would love to. I wish I could see it, but AB lost his marbles. Gronk said, "Forget it," and
I think Buffalo will give him a run.
I'm talking about the NFC.
Oh, okay. The NFC is kind of down. Maybe. See, I can't call the NFC right now because
NFC.
It's a lot going on out there.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But I think we can let this one simmer. We ain't gonna cut it all the way off. We're gonna let this one simmer for a while because we still got some stuff behind this one. Still got a few more questions we gotta ask, but we ain't got time for all that. But getting back to the nature at hand, thank y'all for engaging with us and being here with us on this nice Tuesday afternoon. Y'all remember to set your clocks back an hour. You get that extra hour of sleep come Saturday night. So if you got to be at church early Sunday morning, you still have some time to go to sleep.
Amen.
Also, go ahead on Facebook and join the War Room, Backwood Sports Podcast War Room. We post crazy stuff in there, especially in our the messenger thingamajigger that we got. See, I'm old. I call stuff thingamajigger because I don't know. But so we chop it up, especially on football Sunday, man. Like it'd be funny there. As far as listen to the podcast, go on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Apple. No, I said Apple already. I don't know, old folks, they mind. Go on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. That's what I was trying to say. Amazon.
Right.
And leave us a rating, and let us know how we're doing. Let us know how much you like the show, and especially we'll take the 3.5 star, but if you can give us 5, man, look, I give myself 5. Y'all can give us 5 too. So anything you got to add, man?
No, sir.
All right, so we gonna end it right here. This has been the Bad Porch Sports Podcast with your man Fox
And Quan.
And we out, y'all.
Deuces.